The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for finding us.
What's up?
And we are the Low Fact Podcast. I don't know.
I just can't get it right today.
That's okay. So here's something, which is a little immature, but it's something that a lot of people, and I've been noticing. Actually, scratch that. The last time I noticed it was when I was immature. So,
When was that?
well, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, thinking that all relationships should be frictionless.
Oh,
Not only is that not possible, but I don't think that it's a necessarily bad thing for you to be mad at your friends and have little arguments and scuffles and tussles and stuff.
yeah. I wasn't I don't know.
But there's so many people that I remember the thing that stands out in my mind are people that talk about, I don't know why he or she wanted to break up with me. Usually the guys sit there and say, I don't know why she wanted to break up with me because, we never argued. I was sitting there going, that's not a good thing.
I think it depends on the person, though. I mean, there's couples that
Okay.
thrive on arguing, and there's couples that don't.
Okay, well, I don't particularly like or trust anyone that sits there and says, oh, things are great. We never argue. And my point is, how could you not argue?
Well, I've never been in a relationship when there hasn't been arguments. So.
Yeah, but you pick fights.
Well, yeah, there is that.
You inject that into your relationships on your own. So it's
Well, that's different,
it's artificial.
right? Okay.
I'm not talking about organic arguments, and whenever there's an organic
No,
argument...
you were talking about organic arguments.
Yes, that's right. I was talking about organic arguments. Whenever an organic argument comes up in anything that you do, it pretty much means the end of the relationship, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But I always wondered who came up with this idea of frictionless relationships. Probably the same brain trust that came up with reproduction without sex.
I like that word brain trust. I've been using it a little bit lately.
Oh.
I looked it up.
It actually has a definition?
It's a government thing. It's like when you talk about brain trust, it's a group of experts in government.
Yeah, but that's slang.
Is it slang, though?
It is.
Well, it's defined in the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Yes.
And it's 2 words.
Yes.
I thought it was 1 word.
No.
Okay.
But anyway...
No, I had an exchange with someone about the expression brain trust this week because
Oh.
they were listening to our podcast.
Oh. And you said brain trust?
No, you said brain trust.
Oh.
No, I said brain trust and the person that I was talking to offline, but brain trust is an expression you've used on the podcast before.
I see.
Anyway. So I've completely... What were you talking about?
Well, we're talking about the frictionless relationships.
Oh, yeah, and the brain trust that would think that that's something good.
Yeah, well, that can't be. How can you have a frictionless relationship? I mean, that's just that would mean that one or both of you have been lobotomized. Actually, that would be untrue. Even I think lobotomized people have less ability to control their emotions, so there would be more friction in a lobotomized relationship, quite literally.
You know what I saw some guy say on Twitter about? He was talking about arguments between men.
What?
He said that men who are raised by single moms don't know how to have a argument with another man without...
Crying?
No, they don't. When they have an argument, they only know how to be bullies, and that they take everything personally. Like
yeah,
it
because
becomes very personal.
Because you're surrounded by all that estrogen.
When I read it, I was like, motherfucking, like, I was like, what a slanderous statement to make about men who are raised by women. But then I like...
Well, everybody is raised by women. You're talking about raised predominantly by a single
But when I
mother.
took a step back, I was like, oh, that's kind of how I engage.
Is it kind of how you engage or how you engage?
It's how I engage.
That must have been really disappointing for you.
But I was like, well, maybe I can change that, though.
Sure.
You know?
That is a possibility.
But when I first read it, I was like, that's a really slanderous thing to say.
Why? Because
he was painting everybody with...
this broad brush?
Yeah.
Well, no, men and women do communicate differently, and it is a bit of a trip to see a man communicate like a woman, and then you just sit there going, dude, you can't get away with doing stuff like that. Not to another dude.
Yeah. But why do men and women communicate so differently?
Because we are different.
Yeah, but why?
That's the answer.
Yeah. But why?
Why is it that way?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Why are men and women so different?
Because we are complementary beings.
If we're so different, how the frick does it work?
Again, complementary.
Okay.
You need both to make... Well, you need both to make a child. But you need both to make a whole, kind of.
Uh-huh.
So that's, one on its own and the other on its own, not real good. Put together, can potentially do a lot of good things.
Yeah. I need a good woman.
Well, all people need good opposite sex partners or good...
So if you're a good woman out there that's looking for a good man...
Look elsewhere.
No. Come find... I want to find you.
If you're a good woman out there that's looking for a fixer-upper, then maybe,
Shut up.
This does not need to be a platform for you trying to hook up with people.
Why not, man? I gotta take everything I can get.
Well, yeah, this is true, but there's probably no takers.
You don't know.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't.
I do. I've met some of the people that you've
Way to cast aspersions on my exes.
I'm not casting aspersions on your exes. It's you.
Oh.
I can always say it was a lapse of judgment
Wait,
on their part.
is it aspersions?
I don't think it matters.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yes.
What a cunt.
You are, yes. That's the
you're
first
a cunt.
honest thing you said today.
Fuck off.
It's my studio. You fuck off.
Damn, dude.
So what else are we going to talk about?
Well, I have been observing the New Zealand Prime Minister this week.
Okay, we'll talk about
Twitter.
something I have no idea about. Go right ahead.
And it seems like everything was fantastic up until a couple of weeks ago when we had 0 cases in New Zealand. And now, apparently, I think it seems like her life has become pretty awful in 2 weeks.
So that makes me wonder if there were actually 0 cases.
And all it seems like she does is she just passes the buck. Like, when people complain to her, apparently the buck doesn't stop with the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Apparently it's all her health advisors, and every time any journalist tries to say, well, you're the one, you're the Prime Minister, she just blames everybody else.
Well, that's...
So I'm like, well, is that a politician thing? Is that the difference between a politician and a leader?
No. Number one, I really hate it when people call these elected officials leaders, because you don't pick your leader. The only thing you can pick about your leader is whether you follow them or not.
Okay, so you don't elect your leader.
You can't. That is fundamentally diametrically opposed to my definition. A leader,
so you wouldn't call a politician a leader?
A leader is someone you follow. A politician can be a leader, but a politician is not necessarily always a leader. Because a leader is not someone you pick. A leader is someone you follow.
But it seems like politicians they always try to pass the buck.
Well, they
don't want to accept responsibility for anything that's bad.
That's a natural human feeling.
But if it's good shit, they will accept responsibility until the cows come home.
Another natural human feeling. It's natural and it's human to sit there and not want to pay the piper. Face the music. But I come from a generation where they say a man always pays the piper, faces the music. Now,
what about women?
I don't know. This was being a male. That's what I was taught. A man does X.
Right.
Women might have taught their young girls the same thing, just using the word woman.
Right.
But, a lot of my education outside of school was not co-educational. I didn't go fishing with my friends and my friends and their dads and their sisters and their moms. We went,
The dudes went.
Right.
Actually, that brings up another topic for another time.
Okay. So, but your whole thing about, wanting to pass the buck, that's a natural human desire. And I don't know that someone says it's adultly, but when I was growing up, it was manly to face the music. The people that don't face the music are the sniveling cunts that want to get away with everything. And that's generally the people that have power. That's generally the people that are, that have all this junk, that have all the stuff that people say men are supposed to have and do that don't. So right there is the societal lie to me. And the societal lie is this whole idea that, that you get how much effort you put into stuff as you go as far as your talents take you. That's bullshit, because the fundamental unit of society is based on not that.
The fundamental unit of society?
The fundamental unit of society is the family, and the family...
Oh, yeah.
Your family isn't based on your raw talents and achievements.
No, it's not.
A woman doesn't sit there and fight off a horde of whatever, lift a car off her baby because her baby is just like the most smartest baby in the world. How many families were the dumbass brother that has to get bailed out of everything, and everybody pulls in and does that every time? Not because this guy's great, but because, this guy, when push comes to shove, is probably dumb as a box of hammers, but he's your brother.
Yeah.
So you do it. So, this whole idea that people sit there and talk about merit and all that junk, I'm like, no. But I'm okay with that. But yeah, politicians do that because they want to continue to do whatever. And it's not up to us to sit there. What's up to us to do as the electorate is to hold them accountable or not.
But I think the funny thing is if a politician sat there and said, you know what, I do take responsibility. Because that's always everyone's catch cry. Well, if they just accept responsibility, but if they do that, then...
Well, no, that's...
Who's to say that everyone's not going to sit there and say, oh,
no,
you admitted it, you're done.
No, that's never it.
But people always say that.
Well, they're lying. You're sitting there talking about, I don't think anyone could tell a lie. People want other people to perform apologies and do this other bullshit. I'm just like, you know what? We're kind of going off a topic, and we're
out of time.
And we're kind of sounding really stupid, so I think we should go eat.